I am so glad you are here. I'm Liz from Megas Books and Herbs, and welcoming in our Instagram friends. Let me get through there. There we go. Now everybody's on board. Yay! As I said, I'm Liz from Megas Books, and it is alive on Wednesday. Got those comments up, so keep them rolling. Hi, everybody. Let's start with what are we wearing? I gotta show off this gorgeous scarf from Jerry and her import business. She is retired, so we just send her checks periodically that help her in her retirement because we still have a lot of her stuff. Isn't she fun? So I love the glitters. I love the calm of the brown with that little pop of glitter. I also have a beautiful piece. I think this is Chris's jewelry. I think these make great gifts, as well as some of Tracy's treasures on my little fingies. So I've got two amethysts. You can see one's super dark and one's super light, but they're both faceted cut amethyst. I think that's just gorgeous. And on my pinkies, I've got a little lotus. This one's a wedding ring. It's on my right hand, but that's because my husband and I got married twice. Never divorced, just married twice. We just really like it. And on this side, I've got another fabulous stone ring. I love this one. And again, wedding, engagement, that kind of, that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm wearing today, which I love. What are we drinking? Oh, I've got a tea that I made from the herb wall with hawthorn and milk thistle and ashwagandha. And rose hips. I almost forgot the rose hips. I always throw in a little fruit, almost always throw in a little fruit just for the sweetness of it. But rose hips are supposed to be full of so many antioxidants and be good for you. I just love the stuff. And I don't know if you know, but it's super easy to make jam from rose hips. Because while I can't legally talk about the medicine over the counter, I can talk to you about cooking. And with dried seedless rose hips, so easy. You just get it damp with enough hot waters to bring it back to life, so to speak. Throw it in some kind of blender or use your immersion blender, get it all mixed up. And then suddenly you have jam. You can add a little honey or other sweetener to it if you want to. You can add, a lot of people like to add spices. So they'll add some powdered cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, whatever it is they like. I'm partial to cardamom, so I'm most likely to put some cardamom in. But press it through a sieve just in case somebody missed a seed in that deseeding process, because they are not fun to have in your mouth or in your stomach, your digestive system. But once you've done that, it thickens up just based on its own fiber content. Isn't that fabulous? So there's nothing to it really. A little boiling water, let it sit long enough to kind of wake back up in the water and get soft again, pliable. Throw it through a blender, throw it through a sieve. So simple. And now you've got these great gifts. We're going to talk a lot about gifts because I know it's the season. We're coming up on it. I have another one that I talked about yesterday in the magic class. We're doing a more hands-on magic-y approach right now, and that's on Tuesdays at 11:15. We did these little intention ornaments, and this one I filled only a little bit so that I can keep filling it each year with a new intention so that I build on my growth as I go through life, which I really like that idea. But I wanted to let you guys know that I've brought up some of these ornaments from our classroom supplies and put them out on the sales floor so they are available. So you can come and grab one of these and get a few herbs and make ornaments for yourself, for others that are gorgeous, that if you maybe, I don't know, these are kind of a flexible plastic. If you took like a hot needle, you might be able to do some air holes, which would let a scent come out of it. That would be so cool. Little drop of essential oil plus your fragrant herbs. You're in business. That said, another great ornament to make is powder your cinnamon up and mix it with just enough applesauce to make a dough. Cut that out, let it poke a hole where you want the string to go through for your ornament. Let it dry. I've decorated them with just markers, like metallic markers. They look great. Done stars and spirals and all kinds of fun stuff. Just the stuff I have cookie cutters for or were easy for me to cut out. Suns, moons, you name it. They smell great on the tree, they look great, and they make great gifts, or at least a little tie onto a gift. It's something that you can put tie onto the bow of a gift. It's just that little bit extra to make people feel special. It's so easy. It's not a labor-intensive project. I love those. Another thing I think you can stick in bows when you're making gifts are the Fred Souls incense that we carry. Now, I do have more Fred Souls coming in finally, but know that they are putting an 8% tariff makeup charge basically on them. So the price is going up, sadly. But a stick or two of that through the ribbons and bows on a box that you're giving somebody as a gift, what a fantastic addition to a gift. Just like gild the lily, just that little bit, right? So I love that stuff. But I did bring in some things that I think would make good gifts. I have this beautiful chakra set. This is a stone set with a little selenite charging stone. That's a nice flat piece. And then each of these are aligned with each of the chakras. And as you can see, the symbol for each chakra is there. And for those of you who don't know, it would be read, oops, there we go, this way. This would be your root chakra, and up here would be the crown chakra. So the 7 basic chakras. We'll get into micro chakras another day. But I even like the cover it comes with. I just think it's a very pretty set. And somebody who likes stones and appreciates and works with the chakras, maybe they're a Reiki practitioner, just like chakras, this could be a great, wonderful gift for them. I have a one-of-a-kind piece. Used to have 2 of these, but one's gone. So $29.95. Look at this cool pillow. This is just the best little throw pillow. You know somebody who's got a nice, like purpley blue sofa, something this might go with. Oh, I think it would be fantastic. I also think we've got some gorgeous picture books that make lovely sets. So this is another one influenced by India. It's true because it's all Buddha. It's all the Buddha and some of Buddhist philosophies. But it's a gorgeous coffee table book, basically. Whoa. Each open page will have a photo and the saying. So this one, for example, which is from the, will I say this right? Good question. Dhammapada. Happiness or sorrow, whatever befalls you, walk on untouched, unattached. Good advice for the holiday season, right? We have also brought out, and I love these Jerry's mittens. So you gotta look at these fabulous mittens. They are wool, so they're super warm. And I hear some of you going, oh no, not wool, itchy, itchy, itchy. No. Fleece lined. Fleece lined. You will never be itchy because of these, but they're super warm. They're super comfy. Most are plain mittens like this, and most of them are white, gray, and black. There's a few with a pop of color, and there are also a few that have the pop-off covers so you can have naked fingers if you need them, because these are obviously not things you can touch your phone through, so you would need that for this. But they're so warm. If you're going out sledding, for yourself, for your date, for your kids, I'd rather have these these mittens, to be honest, to most gloves, just to keep my little fingies warm. Another gift set that has just come in recently, and I did show it off, but I think this is from a local maker, and I think it deserves a second look, you guys. This is a fully made little gift kit. It's even got a to and from tag for you. You don't even have to think about that. It's got some beautiful sort of candy cane tissue paper that everything is sitting in. It's stripes with green and white and red. And you get this gorgeous eggnog-inspired bath. It's got orange and spice. It's just lovely. You've got, it's coming, another little type of bath, which would be super easy, by the way, to turn into a salt scrub with that little oil, and you're good to go. It also comes with a cute little scoop so you can get everything out as you need it to come out. And Merry and Bright bath salts. And the other ones, by the way, were Restful Flurry and Yuletide Rum Bath Soak. This is a limited edition set. She's not doing them once the holidays are over. I think what's been made is probably all there's going to be. So fabulous little ready to give gift. I love that that's so easy. So look for the card. I've got a few of the kits, so get out there when you can. And the other piece that came in brand new that you have not had a chance to see yet that I think is gorgeous are these wands. So they have a metal core that was anointed in a goddess oil. And yes, I do think that's funny in an 11-year-old boy kind of way. Before it was encased in this beautiful handle. They're all like this, but none of them are the same because they're uniquely and individually handcrafted. So this one's got a little moonstone. This one's got a little quartz. This one, ooh, here's the red and black one, which has the little piece in the bottom. And this one, which kind of fits the hand nicely with that little curve to it. And then finally, for those of you who are like, I can't think in straight lines. What do you mean wands that are straight? That's okay. I got this baby for you. Even more bent than the last one, and in a beautiful olive. So fabulous handmade wands. They are here. Of course, we have Daryl's as well, which I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago. That is gorgeous too. They're all roughly in the same price range. Daryl's $150. These guys are $160. But I think you got to remember, this is local, handmade, unique art piece in all cases. Totally worth the investment, I think. So that's fun stuff I've got going on. Let's talk about upcoming events. So this Saturday, the 6th of December, 2025, just so if you're watching this on a rerun, you know, we've got the Alliance Coven having their free class at noon. Fabulous group of teachers. Highly encourage you to go. The next day, Sunday at noon, we have Gateway to the Gods. Definitely doing it. I'm kind of thinking African Dream Seed, because I haven't done that one in a while. And I was it's a bean ultimately. So I was kind of wondering if I should do a little bean broth with some savory veggies and just have some fun with it. Let me know, especially if you are interested in that class. We've also got Saturday the 13th, Alliance Coven will be back again for their free series. Again, fabulous series, highly encourage it. They'll cover a lot of basic 101 topics. And the following Sunday, the 14th of December at 10 a.m. before we open will be the Gardnerian Introduction class. Also a free to attend class, just like the Alliance Coven. No passing, it's not even a buy donation class. Neither of those are. They're just completely free. And that one we'll be discussing. We've been discussing ethics lately in that class. So there'll be a few things based on ethics, based on perspective taking, things along those lines, at least for the next few classes. On the following Sunday, the 21st, on the solstice itself, Reiki 1. So what a glorious day to get your Reiki 1 as the year begins anew for people who follow those calendars. The following Saturday on the 27th, Adam's astrology class. And I got to say, he has gotten rave reviews with this series. I think this is the best series he's done so far. And it's definitely a drop-in series. You don't have to have attended the previous class. He got the nicest review from one of our other readers, Daryl, the guy who made the wands and the very fancy, nice attention ornaments that we've got that I didn't bring in to show off today because I did it recently as well. His comment was he had an expectation about what a class on astrology would really be like, especially a 101. And he was interested in attending. He wanted to hear it, but he was also it's just going to be the same old, same old. He was so impressed that it wasn't. He was so impressed with the way Adam draws things together. I can't say enough good stuff about this current series that Adam's offered on astrology. If you are interested in the stars at all, it's definitely worth checking out. It is a buy donation class. So when you are done, you can make a donation. Or if you have attended some and you already know he is all that and a Kit Kat, by all means, you can register online and make a payment or not. Make the donation when you attend the class or make it through the computer if you don't want to be bothered that day. What happens with that is it all gets pulled together, both physical donations as well as online payments. And then the teacher gets their cut, which is pretty good. And then the store, to pay for the space basically takes their cut. So it's all good. So that's Adam's class. What else have we got coming up? Oh yes. The next day on Sunday, the 28th of December, that Gardnerian 101 class at 10 a.m. before we open. So you kind of want to try and show up on time or call the store if you're late so that we hear you and let you in. And then at noon, there's a Reiki share. So if you get your Reiki 1, 2, or 3 and you just want to come and trade, it's a great experience to do that, not just for the fact that you get to practice your Reiki and you get to receive Reiki, but also just for the camaraderie and the chit chat of multiple practitioners together. It's just fun. And then at 4 o'clock, SU is teaching the palmistry series. Really good approach to readings and how to pull information together. So count on SU for a really interesting and entertaining class. And then on Saturday, January 3rd, yes, I'm going all the way out to January 3rd, the Alliance Coven will be back at 12. They will have a fabulous class, but the reason I wanted to tell you about January 3rd is SU has a class on January 3rd as well on American hoodoo and folk magic, which his entire life has been steeped in since the day he was born. So come check that class out. That's another by donation class, and it's at 3 p.m. You can register online in advance, or you can definitely pay when you are there, should you be able to make that donation. And again, make the donation that you can, of course. If you've got $3, it's all you've got, but you're dying to know about this subject and meet this teacher, come donate the $3. And for those of you who are like, well, I can actually donate a lot more, and you kind of cover someone else's as well as your own, we appreciate that too. That is all good as far as we're concerned. We love having all of you here. So that's what's happening. One more regular announcement, which is the reader's schedule. Oh, I bet that was very loud. Sorry, because the microphone is not on my computer. It's down on the table. Let me fix that. All right. So we have had, I announced this last week, we've had a small change in our readers because one of our readers who is a younger adult, got their real grown-up job and cannot be here during the day. So they are no longer reading with us. That was Jessie. That was our rune reader. But today, Wednesday, SU will be here from noon to 6, fabulously. Thursday, he will be here from noon to 3, and he'll be followed by Heather, who is a delight unto herself. Ravenwolf will be in on Friday from 1 to 4. Daryl will be back doing oracle readings from 4 to 6. And if you want to experience his reading style and his personal, unique deck that he has designed for his oracle readings, longtime tarot reader just fell into this tarot deck thing or oracle deck thing, then he's going on vacation next week. So come down on Friday and get a reading from him, and then maybe go out to dinner at one of the local restaurants. It's fabulous here. Oh, and by the way, there is a parking lot you can park in while you're in this neighborhood. It is 1 block south of us, and it is on what I would call the back side of the block. So not Central Avenue, but the opposite side of the block from that. So if you are coming north on Lowry, before you get to our block, or if you're coming north on Central, turn on Lowry, and in half a block, you'll see the parking lot. And on the far end, you'll see the church. It's St. Clement's Catholic Church, and they very generously offered the parking for all of the local businesses to use. That may switch to a paid lot sometime in this new year, but for now, at least, it's completely free. And the reason, by the way, it might change to a paid lot is just to help keep any nefarious activity under control. Has nothing to do with wanting to gouge anybody, but it does have to do with needing to maintain the parking lot and to just encourage people who don't want to do legal things in it to maybe not do them there. Just a thought, just for everybody's safety. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. Saturday, SU is here from noon to 3. Tarot reading and palm reading available from him. And then Margaret rounds out our Saturday from 3 to 6. Eshu will be in again on Sunday all day, noon to 6. Daryl is in on Monday from 12 to 2, followed by Morpheus doing dream interpretation from 2 until we close up at 6. Tuesday, I've got Ravenwolf, the fabulous Ravenwolf, from noon to 3, and Daryl is doing oracle readings from 3 to 6. And that brings us back to today with Eshu again. So come get your cards read. Great time. We're approaching a new year very rapidly. It's not a bad idea to get a forecast reading. Or that relationship reading. But reader schedule's always posted. And for anybody who's interested but hasn't done it here before, all of the readers have agreed to a $2.50 a minute plus tax charge. And we will ask you if you would like to leave a tip for your reader, but it is not required by any stretch of the imagination. So no worries there. We also have a chart in the reader's area so you can see what the grand total will be for, say, a 10-minute reading plus tax up to, I don't know, I think an hour and a half reading plus tax. And I would say most of our readers read for 10 to 20 minutes on average. Most, I would say 15 to 20. So that's what I would budget for if I just wanted a general reading, just so you know. But you can absolutely say, I want a 10-minute reading, and they will be happy to do that for you. Even a 5-minute reading is doable. Less than that, and really you're asking for a one-card pull, and some of the readers will go, yeah, you need 5 minutes at least. Let's do a little 3-card reading. Been losing my rings. I'm down to my amethyst. What does that say about me for the day? That I need to be sober? No problem. Not an issue at all. That I need to accept all of the love and gratitude and give all the love and gratitude that there is? Absolutely. No problem. I love that about amethyst. So that brings me to today's topic. I thought I would talk about wands and athames. Why get them? Why get both? Why would you want them both? There are people who avoid athames because they are metal and they are knives, and they don't like the symbolism of the knife. They don't like just the fact that it's metal alone. There are certain traditions that don't go for metals at all. They view themselves as before metalworking in their basis historically. But a lot of traditions do like an athame. An athame is a knife. I've got a big one here, so it's easy to see, with 2 edges. Both of these edges could be sharpened. You can see I'm touching them. They're not sharp. Most athames that are sold for this purpose are deliberately left dull. You can sharpen them as the owner if you would like, but they're left dull so that they're as safe as possible to be handled. I mean, I can't cut myself no matter how hard I press. So, but you are always welcome to sharpen these bad boys. So I like athames as a symbol of how life always has 2 sides. Every action has benefits and every action has consequences that you might not like. I always view life as, let's try to make all the consequences as positive as we can, as often as we can. And this kind of reminds me to do that. The idea that every right that you have has a responsibility. Every privilege creates a little karmic debt. This is why, for example, in much of the 20th century, in addition to the tax laws that helped reinforce it, the idea that a CEO would make more than, say, 5 times the line worker was rare, because that benefit they were getting for their excessive wealth was costing all of their employees by pushing their employees below a reasonable wage. So we have the double-sided athame that I think symbolizes that really nicely in ways I don't think a wand does. In terms of magical use, I think that it really comes from an era and an age in which you might summon an entity, a deity, something that has its own agenda that may not match yours. And so you might have to say, hey, I am not here to be taken advantage of. And there's something empowering about that, as long as it's not abused. So I like that idea too. The idea of, I can use this in a number of ways, but I can use it in a way that will help me defend myself if I need to. Kind of reminds me of women's hat pins being used for self-defense on public transit early on in America. I think that's hilarious, but there you are. Versus a wand. Now, a wand, you could bludgeon somebody with a wand. So this too is a weapon as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it's different in that sense, but it's not a stabby weapon. It's much more blunt than even the dull athame that you will buy in a shop. So I view this perhaps as a more polite way of communicating with those entities that you might want to call in, be they a deity, an angel, a spirit of some kind, something that you are sure really is on your side. You use this. That to me is the big distinction between the two. And how would I choose? Well, I'm going to choose based on comfort level, aesthetic. I place a high premium on, does it sit comfortably in my hand? Can I wield it in a way that I think is appropriate? This is how I was taught to use an athame. Oh, and by the way, I don't care how you say athame. It's Athame. That's how it's spelt. I don't care if you say athame, which I've absolutely heard, athame, athame, any pronunciation will do as far as I'm concerned. That's just a regional difference or a personal difference in how you discovered the word, whether or not you heard it spoken or saw it read, or yeah, heard it spoken or yeah, saw it in writing. However you want to pronounce that word is fine with me. I don't, language drifts and I don't mind that fact. So pick your athame, athame. I'm sure I'm missing a few pronunciations. Put them in the comments if you've got a few that you like. And if you are looking into a wand, it's kind of same rules. I want it to be comfortable to wield, which means in both cases, if it's super large, it can be ungainly if you're not physically fit enough to wield it comfortably. This is the reason that these are generally not swords. I've seen a few short swords used this way. I wouldn't call this a short sword. I'd call this a dagger. It's a long dagger, but it's a dagger nonetheless. So I'm looking for balance. It's got to feel good in my hand, and good balance will let it feel good in my hand. I am looking for, good balance. I don't own this, so I'm not actually going to risk it completely, but a nice balance. The balance point is kind of close to the handle, which makes it easy to wield. I like that about this one. And a good size and length for my purposes, which might mean that I get one that's this big instead of this big. Huge, right? Maybe you want something a little more discreet. That's allowed. That's even encouraged. Or maybe while black handled, you'll read about black handled knives being appropriate for this kind of magical tool, but that's not what calls you. You really like the rainbow dyed blade that we've got, where the handle is wood and it's been cut so that you can see bits of the grain, and each grain, there's swaths of color in the grain levels so that you get a rainbow effect. That's a fabulous knife. There is nothing wrong with that as your athame, no matter what anybody tells you. This is your more traditional black handled. Yay, black handled. But that doesn't mean you have to follow that rule. That there is a tradition doesn't mean it's your tradition, says the fuddy-duddy. I know. I'm good with that, though. I'm fine with people creating their own tradition, their own practices. I think even if you are a traditionalist, you're going to have some personal practices that might be not quite in line with the tradition you've chosen to study. There's nothing wrong with a personal practice. There is nothing wrong with expanding that personal practice to include your family, your friends, creating a coven, and creating a whole new tradition. Do it. Go for it. Maybe the tradition will involve completely unique initiations for each individual person so that they can be finely tailored to everybody involved, with everyone having a role that suits them best in the situation, and perhaps even introduces the initiate to a facet of that person's personality that they maybe weren't very exposed to, but will be in coven practice. Isn't that a fantastic idea for how to approach initiation from an eclectic point of view? I love that set of ideas. Do I like a traditional initiation? Sure, but the purpose is different. If you're tailoring that initiation to the individual, you're truly centered on their experience in a way that you're using symbols that mean something to them. You're tapping into egregores that they already have a working relationship with, whether that is pirate movies from the 90s or Wizard of Oz or the current movies that are out now with the time before the Wizard of Oz, before Frank Baum's writings take place. Fabulous book, by the way. Highly recommend the novel. As opposed to the more traditional one, where really what you're doing is saying, well, we're going to give you exactly this stuff with exactly this language, more or less, as best we can, to see how you individually respond to it. Your experience of it will inherently be different from anybody else's. So you will have something, however great or small, you will have something unique to say about it, as long as nobody force feeds you the ideas that they have about how to interpret your experience. As long as you get to interpret your own experience in that traditional context, I think that that's amazing as well. But that said, started really with wands and athames. If these are tools you want to add to your collection, choose the ones that resonate with you. Try them on for size if you can. These are tools that I've ordered stuff online. I've gotten stuff from Craftsman, but I like being able to hold it in my own little hands before I purchase it, before that final transaction. So I know, is it really right for me? So this is where I think the shops like ours, like Magus Books, really come in handy because you can audition the pieces as you go. It's, there's something to be said for holding the thing in your hand before you make a final decision about whether or not it's right for you. Are these up online? Yep. You can look at them in advance, check them out. If you can't come into the shop, but you fall in love with one, by all means, order it. Absolutely. But I'm going to encourage you, if you can, to go to a shop and try them on for size. Can you try these on for size anywhere but here? No. But this maker is in other shops around my area, which is the Twin Cities in Minnesota. So Twin Cities are Minneapolis and St. Paul, our state capital, St. Paul, and the town across the river, basically, where we are in Minneapolis. Oh my goodness, it's 11:46. I have to stop soon. So sorry. Since I'm the only one, we might cut it a little short today, but don't forget to come and pick up your gift sets, your gifts, your ingredients for making gifts. I would love an herbal bath, a salt scrub, something with essential oils in it. These are all fabulous things I think make lovely gifts. And on Thursday, I will be talking about making lip balm, just because I think some of the extravagance I see with it is silly. So you'll see my thoughts on all of that tomorrow if you tune in 11:15 for the Irby cast. And come in, and even if what you really want is, I want to support this person's path in their magical and spiritual development, but I don't know what witchy herbs are, come in while I'm here. I'm here during the first half of the week, like Sunday through Wednesday for sure, and then kind of randomly for the rest of the week. But come in for sure. Let me know. I will get you a good collection from what we've got in stock of traditional witchy herbs. Or you're looking for something more hoodoo related. There are great herbs that really we learned about through hoodoo, not through Wicca, not through Western herbalism, not through American, not necessarily through what most people would think of as North American, which is often viewed through the lens of indigenous American herbal practices. This is more the hoodoo side. We're talking about really a true amalgam of multiple continents coming together to make new traditions in a new land, which I think is a fascinating journey. So come check out that hoodoo class with Eshu in January on Saturday the 3rd if you get a chance. But if what you're looking for is maybe just a collection of things or herbs or tools to help somebody else on their journey as a gift, come in. We can help you find the right stuff to put together a good gift, whether you're talking about a $15 budget or a $55 budget or a $500 budget. We certainly are seeing in the holidays a lot of small extravagances getting picked up, like the gift set, like the fabulous ready to go gift set. True luxury for your bath. They smell amazing, by the way. So come, we'll help you find the stones, the herbs, the other tools that you really might want for that gift for that person that you love and prize as a friend, a partner, a child, a parent, whomever. So in the meantime, I want to thank you on behalf of myself and the rest of the crew here at Magus Books in Minneapolis, as well as online at magusbooks.com. We look forward to seeing you here in the shop or on our website. We're loving all of you guys finding us out there, especially if you don't have access to this kind of shop. Double welcome to you, because wow, what a struggle you have then. But we want to thank you all for being your best magical you, and I look forward to chatting with you all soon. In the meantime, have a blessed week and get ready for those holidays. They're coming up fast, and hopefully we will all have at least some fun at them.